Good afternoon, my loves. I'm back again with another video, and we are still working from the Ori series from my book, Ori, Finding Your Purpose and Improving Your Life Working with Your Oversoul. And today we are going to talk about the theory of how your soul chose its destiny. Did you know that if you are here, and no matter which status in life you find yourself, you didn't just accidentally slide out of your mother's womb and just say, oh, how did I get here? Do you know if you are here on earth as an incarnation, whether you are flora, fauna, a blade of grass, a puppy, the man on the street, under the bridge, to the highest CEO, did you know that if you are here, you are not here by accident. You are here by design. You planned to come here. It took some effort and it took a process to get here. Now, if you don't believe in the theology of Ifa, if you don't believe in quantum physics or new age practices and things such as that, or new age theologies, then just consider this entertainment purposes only. But even if you don't believe in any of this type of stuff, you have to figure that all of this must be for a reason. This couldn't be just some big divine accident. For your mother to hold you in her womb for 9 months, creating organs, a head, which is a personal computer itself. Your head is a personal PC. And for your heart to beat, all of your bodily functions, for these fingers to move, for the stomach to digest, and to know, naturally what to do, there is no accident in that. So if you are thinking less of yourself, then you need to be thinking again and thinking higher, because once again, you are not here by accident. The basis of what I am speaking of today is not just from my personal opinion, but it comes from Akashic Records readings, past life regressions. It also comes from studying the late greats, such as the late Dolores Cannon, who was a hypnotherapist who took people into past life regression, and being a big fan and student of the late great Dr. Michael Newton. And he wrote a book called Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls, and also the Oracles of Ifa, Ancient Cosmology, which talks about how our soul chooses its destiny. So I am going to be infusing the New Age with the Ifa cosmology in order to make it plain, because everybody doesn't practice Ifa, and that's okay. But either way, no matter what you believe, no matter what religion you are, you have a soul, and your soul has its origins. So as always, I'm going to be working from my notes so that I don't forget any points. So anyway, once again, that book that I was saying is Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton. You might want to check that out. There's also an audio book here on YouTube where you can listen to it. I used to love to listen to that before going to bed. It's very, very interesting. And you will find that it aligns with your inner spirit. A lot of it makes sense and answers a lot of questions that you may have been wondering about, I had a hunch about, but wanted some form of confirmation of some sorts. But anyway, let's get into it. So first of all, let's talk about why we choose to come to such a difficult existence into the earth realm and the third dimension. Because if you look further and deeper, earth isn't the only place to incarnate to. There are souls incarnating to other planets and things such as that. I always said that it must be an insult to the Creator to think that the Creator would only create us, human beings here on earth, earthlings. And there has to be other life forms out there that were before us during our time period and that will come after us. But that's a totally different story. But the ultimate thing I want to begin this video with is the basis of God's greatest mission statement, or Creator's source. Its greatest mission statement in the earth realm is to have an experiential knowledge of itself. Creator is all-seeing, all-knowing, all powerful. And with that particular fact about the Creator, in order to experience how vast and great it is It had to have an illusion-based experience to know what hot is, to know what cold is, to know what hunger is, and to look up from lower realms and see how great and vast it is, or else it would just be sitting in the cosmos, just being and not necessarily doing. So that's what we're here for. Yes, the best and the worst of us. In order to know bad, I mean, sometimes we have to know good, and sometimes in order to know good, we have to experience the bad, just like the Odu Okanran speaks of. So with the earth realm, with everything being perfect in the heavens or the cosmos, you come to the earth realm and experience life challenges. It helps you appreciate your experience better. So that is exactly what the Creator is doing through you, me, and all life forms here on earth, is experiencing itself. And in order to experience itself, it cannot remember itself, or it would defeat the purpose of coming down here. It had to forget that it was the Creator. So think of a big piece of clay splitting itself into little tiny pieces, like a chip off an old block, having different experiences. Those chips off the old block are us. Creator wanting to experience itself as a woman. Creator wanting to experience itself as a man. Creator wanting to experience itself in all other type of life forms, animal forms, etc., etc. Creator wanting to have an African American experience, a Latino experience, a multi-ethnic experience, whatever it is. That is what Creator has been doing through us since the beginning of time. So besides being a piece of itself, it had to forget what it is. So that is why when we come here, we forget our destiny. That's not an accident. It's not a tragedy. It's part of it. Because say, for instance, you are cast in a video game, or you're cast on a reality series, and they tell you you have to be totally blindfolded in order to carry it out. It would make it more interesting. So consider ourselves and our lack of knowledge sort of being blindfolded and having to, shift about in the dark in order to find ourselves again. Because if we weren't blindfolded, once again, the Creator's purpose would be defeated in the earth realm. So it is not by accident that you don't remember. Now, in ancient times, a baby's destiny would be born a baby's destiny would be read the third day after it's born in order to determine its life path. And that's something that we have gotten out of. So we have gotten way beyond the point of misinformation and lack of knowledge, which has destroyed us. But in general, even when we had our basic destiny information, certain things we just had to walk out blindly in the human experience, because that is what makes an immortal in a human body human, is to not know everything from day to day. So we seek our communication through spirit, through intuition, divination, and revelations, prophetic means, and other means such as that, to figure out what the will of the Creator is in the earth realm. Because guess what? Sometimes we are creating in the moment rather than just waiting for everything just to be predetermined. But that's a different story for a different day. So anyway, you, your mother, your father, your friends, your enemies, your soul group members are all pieces of the Creator having a human experience. And those pieces of the Creator that relate to you the most, such as a field of sunflowers, would be your soul group. And I talk about that on a different video. So think of a sunflower with its nucleus being the black part, and the yellow petals being each soul within your soul group. So you're all individuated yet still tied to the same nucleus. That will be your soul group. The adjacent soul groups will be your karmics and maybe your parents' soul group, and those who work around you and with your soul group in conjunction with you all in order to elevate. So God is seeking, or Creator is seeking to elevate itself back to knowledge of itself throughout lifetimes. It takes more than one lifetime to do that. And in order to continue the saga, that is the purpose for Atunwa, which is reincarnation, or coming back here again to pick up where we left off. And that is the basis for how a soul chooses its destiny. And we tend to choose our destiny based on our most previous past life, or either if there is an elevated being that decides to incarnate to earth, it looks at the global crisis going on, or there's going to be a shift on a planet somewhere, and they're coming in to help bring about that shift. So they're coming in for either that purpose. So either or, you either incarnate to pick up where you left off from a past lifetime, to finish something you didn't, to start something you didn't finish, or complete something from a past life, or something you wanted to do but didn't get a chance to do last time. You come back and do it, or to right a wrong, or to even the score of some sort, or to continue learning and mastering a lesson from a past lifetime. That's one reason why souls come to earth. The second reason is to bring about change, to shift change. So say, for instance, if a soul looks down and says, wow, the problem of single parenthood is just getting out of control in the earth realm. So I need to go down and incarnate in order to bring in a new thought and shift and bring about change so that the idea of family is restored with this group of people. That is a reason why they why an immortal soul would incarnate into a human body. Or looking at the ecological crisis or things going on such as global warming and wanting to bring about change, the spirit needs a human body to do that. So would have to incarnate to do that, or either put the messages through an intuitive person in order to get into the earth realm. So anyway, let's go through the notes and let's talk about Ajala Mopin, which is the Akashic Library. Ajala Mopin, or sometimes pronounced Ajala Mopin, is a place where a soul chooses its destiny. Also in Ifa cosmology, Ajala is considered a being that works with the chief Orisha Obatala to mold heads. Not just human heads, but immortal heads, plant heads, animal heads, whatever it is, heads in general of all creatures. So the soul, step one is the soul goes to Ajala, or the Akashic Library, where all memories of past, present, and things that are to come are located and recorded. So step one, the soul is spending time in the spirit realm, in the cosmos, with its soul group, its ancestral groups from past lifetimes and things such as that. And then the souls may kind of just be wandering around, doing this thing, having its own existences and elevation experiences over there, and says, hey, I think it's time for us to go back to earth or wherever we're going. And I think it's time for us to pick up where we left off, or look at the problems going on with our family. There's a lot of infighting. Our children are getting out of control. They're starting to go to jail more or become single mothers more, all that type of stuff. So, hey, let's go down there and let's bring about change through reincarnating, and we're going to come with the purpose of doing this or doing that and bringing about order, restoring order within our bloodline. So say, for instance, they think about something like that. This is a hypothetical example. And they decide, okay, this time you're going to be the mother, I'm going to be the father, this one is going to be the sister and brother, and they're sorting all of this out. And they may say, okay, so you're going to be born now, and then 20 years later, I'm going to be born. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they have these type of conversations. And when the souls have these conversations between soul group members, between ancestral bloodlines and adjacent soul groups, then they go to the Akashic Library known as Ajala, and it's called different things throughout different cultures. And this is where Akunleyan occurs. Akunleyan is to kneel down and choose. So a soul goes to Ajala to choose a destiny and a life script. It's kind of like if a bunch of directors and producers get together and they decide to have a meeting and say, hey, we're going to get ready to start filming this new documentary or this new movie, and all of the scripting and the casting, who's going to be in the play, who's going to stay behind the scenes, which are your soul group members that didn't incarnate. Everything is being worked out right then and there. And so at Ajala, one chooses its parents, one goes back and reviews its past lives, looking at the mistakes that they made or the character flaws that they have yet to develop, or maybe not speaking up for themselves, so they want to come back and use that throat chakra more to express themselves more and stand up for themselves more. Or maybe they were limited in some sort of way. Maybe they were an oppressed woman of some sort and they want to come back and do things differently, or all types of different experiences, or someone that treated someone wrong, so they want to come back and incarnate and do things better than they did before. So all of that's determined at Ajala. So the soul is going through Akunleyan to choose its destiny. And with that comes certain things that are going to form the soul contract, Akosile, excuse me. And after that, once the destiny has been chosen and the council of elders, known as Aladundun deities, sanction what is going to occur. Yes, I know this is a lot. After they sanctioned what is going to occur, that is when the destiny is sealed and the soul contracts are sealed between soul group members. Who's going to be the parent, who's going to be the child, who's going to be the enemy, who's going to, all of this is determined there for the most part, with a little wiggle room for modifications throughout the lifetime due to free will. So next up, at this Akashic Library known as Ajala, Akunleyan happens, whereas the destiny is chosen, and then Akunlegba is received. Akunlegba means to kneel down and receive. So say, for instance, you come here and you come to Ajala and you decide you want to be a boxer, then that means you're going to need the body of a boxer. Or maybe you grew up in a home where you saw abuse, so you pick maybe an abusive father, and you're going to learn, and it kind of you're going to learn to box in order to defend your mother or help a family member. So Akun Legba is the things that is going to help you carry out the Akunleyan, the destiny that you chose. So those are the tools. Say, for instance, you decide you're going to be a pianist, you're going to need a piano. If you're going to be a hairdresser, you need the tools to be a hairdresser. If you're going to be a ballerina, you need the body of a ballerina and the resources and the right mentors to put you on that path. So that is where Akun Legba is received. That is where you choose your body, circumstances, which soul group members are going to be your mentors that also specialize in that talent that you are bringing with you to the earth realm that you have carried throughout lifetimes in your Ori Inu, your inner self, your inner soul that resides at your solar plexus when you come to earth. And with that, with Akun Legba, the destiny request is granted by the elders, so the tools, talents, and amenities to make that destiny happen are received. With Akun Legba, some of your gifts are time sensitive. You have some things in your, I call Akun Legba the backpack that you have, your tools. Some of those things that you have in there, or amenities in your backpack or tools, are time sensitive, meaning you may not need to use what's in that backpack until you're 40 years old, or you may not use it except for a limited time throughout age 10 to about 21 years old, such as being a track star or football player. So by the time you're in your 30s, your destiny will have a different purpose for you, where you're doing something different. So you may have started out as an athlete in your youth and end up being a sports commentator or a professor later on. So all of that has to be included with what you are doing and why you are coming here. Also, once again, the parents and family are chosen. The body is chosen. Yes, we choose our bodies, believe it or not, for a purpose. Talents that you already have are put in there, and the ability to carry out those talents, such as your opportunities that are going to come. So when you're saying, if you have a talent and you're wondering if you can manifest being able to utilize that talent in the earth realm, if it is in your destiny, then it's definitely possible. It means it's already in your backpack to do it. Say, for instance, if you're going to be a teacher, you have to know how to read. So books and writing tools and technology tools are going to be very important to you. So that's all included in the amenities of your destiny in your Akun Legba. And I will put the names and the terminologies in the description box, which are also in the Ori Finding Your Purpose book. Also, where you're going to be born, where you're going to locate. So maybe you and your soul group members decide, hey, we're going to all be born in Chicago, and we're going to do this, and we're going to meet at the dance school, and we're going to be young dancers and ballerinas, and then we're going to create a dance academy, such as like what Catherine Dunham did, or someone like that. So all of that's in Akun Legba, what you are bringing with you to the earth realm. Those that will help you, the karmic people, etc. Also, there will be cues. You discussed before you were born, cues how to recognize your soul group members once you get to the earth realm. It may be maybe a color that they have on, or just looking in their eyes, because you can always tell a soul by its eyes throughout lifetimes. But there is a way, when you first met your soul group members, I'm not just talking about romantic, but non-romantic too, whether they're in your family or whether they are your best friend. If you can think back about certain family members or best friends or people like that you've met, or lovers, think about something where you recognize you knew this person. They felt very familiar. It felt like home, and it was a cue. Things just kind of flowed into each other like a hand in glove. All of that's by design and discussed in the Akashic Library about how you all are going to meet. Some people may say, okay, maybe you get into a car accident and you have a fender bender, and you get out the car and you meet this person and you all end up being best friends. the soul could have designed that in the earth realm. So despise it not small beginnings when you meet certain people. Maybe you started off as rivals and you end up being the best of friends and end up doing something great together or having a business together. All of this is by design in the destiny. Also, let's see, once again, the Akosile, the soul contract, is created once Akunleyan is determined and Akunlegba is given. So remember, Akunleyan is the destiny you choose. Akunlegba is the backpack or the amenities that come with that destiny to carry it out. And the soul contract is sealed. Once that soul contract is sealed, then you have Ayamo, which is the part of your destiny that cannot be changed. Now, this might be a very sensitive comment in this day and age, but Ayamo is the part of your destiny, such as you choose to be born to an African-American mother or Jamaican father. Once that happens, you can't go back and change that or have a surgery or anything to change who your mother or father is biologically in this lifetime. You can have a surrogate mother or father. Once you're born with a certain genitalia, nowadays things are changing, but once you're born with that genitalia, you can't wipe out the fact that you were born with the body parts that you were born with, or you can't change the fact that you were born a person of color or a person that's Caucasian or a person that's Chinese. Those particular things in your destiny cannot be changed. Once again, that's called Ayanmo, and that goes with the soul contract. So for those that are having trouble accepting, if you're having trouble accepting your race, your ethnicity, all of it's by design, and all of it was chosen. And I apologize if that offends anyone, but it's all by design. It's not an accident. Even feeling like you don't belong to the race or the gender or the class that you're in, that's all part of the destiny too. That's something that's being walked out by that soul. But I have a different video that talks more about that, such as gender dysphoria and things like that. But the feeling uncomfortable in what you're doing, a lot of that is based on karmic lessons, needing to incarnate in a certain body to learn a lesson rather than what you feel comfortable in, or with a certain ethnic group, or dealing with a difficult family member. All of that's part of the soul contract, which is a continuation of something that happened in a past life. So it's sealed once that soul contract is created, and that deals with your sex or whatnot, race, ethnicity, parents. Those are the part of your destiny and circumstances that can't be changed once you incarnate. Now, Ori Apere, which is your sacred calabash, how you receive your blessings, your good or your bad in life, that is the part of your destiny where you get wiggle room to kind of switch some things around. So with Ori Apere, say for instance you were meant to marry a particular person and you missed your opportunity, then maybe someone in the soul group who's similar may come along and take that person's place. Or maybe you were supposed to be this great poet but you never learned to read, then there will be other ways that poetry will express itself. It may be verbally rather than anything else. So there are some things that can that has a little room for modification in the destiny. And Ifa, we believe that if you have chosen, a difficult destiny for yourself, or you've bitten off more you can chew, there are amendments that can be made through something called sacrifice, ebo, and also iwapele, character modification, of incorporating good character or gentle character can help you elevate to where you want to go in order to change the destiny. Because we have the concept of Oriburuku, which is the bad head, and Orirere, which is the good head. But keep in mind, just because you have a good Ori, or a so-called good soul, or balanced soul that is in alignment with itself, that's what I mean when I say good. If you have that, a person with a good head can still start off with a bad destiny, but since they have such a good head, they have the ability to overcome that negative destiny and make it a positive destiny and transform that destiny into something great. And the old dudes talk about that, which is called Iparada, which is transformation. And you can have somebody with a bad head, or somebody who squanders their destinies, and maybe the character's not so well, or maybe they're just not doing so good in the earth realm. In general, with different things that they get, with the blessings that they get, they can have a great destiny. Somebody with a bad head can be born a wealthy child and totally squander what they have throughout their life and keep their wealth. So don't just think of, oh, this person is on a yacht, they have a good head. That doesn't necessarily mean that. So That's what I mean by, you know, amending the destiny through character modification, things improving, manifesting better circumstances for yourself if things started out difficult. Also, not honoring your soul contracts and your commitments to your destiny can also make the destiny worse. So as long as you're in alignment with your destiny and why you came, it can automatically improve the circumstances once you remember why you are here. And oftentimes, you will know through your hunches why you're here in many ways, because look at the things that you're interested in. Look at the topics that interest you. Look at the talents that you have. Look at the problems that you are going through. All of that's by design and is part of your purpose. And those are clues and hints to your destiny. Also, if you're not into Ifa or anything like that, looking at your astrological birth chart, examining your North Node, examining your soul urge number, all of those things will give you clues. Your life path number, your destiny number, all of those things will give you clues as to why you incarnated here in this particular lifetime. If you can't find an Ifa priest, or you're not getting Ishefa, hand of Ifa, or Itefa, or different things like that, then there are other ways that you can know. Because there are people who are born, they've never had a destiny ceremony, anything like that, and they're living their destiny just fine, and they're carrying it out wonderfully. So there are other ways to know, and that's why I talked about in the previous video, it is important to have a good relationship with your higher self, with your Ori, because that is your GPS in life, and it will guide you which way you are supposed to go intuitively. Even through the things that look like they're detours or negative circumstances, there are often blessings in disguise in those lessons from those detours. So despise not small beginnings, or don't discard mistakes and just hamper on being feeling guilty about it. Move on and take the lesson, because that's going to be vitamins for your destiny. But I digress. So anyway, after Ayamo is sealed, you get Ori Apere, where certain things can be amended in the destiny. And then after Ori Apere is established, which is kind of wiggle room in the destiny to change certain things around, maybe such as where you're going to be born or what day you're going to be born. Maybe you're supposed to be born May 25th, but you decide to come June 15th. Just those type of things. That's wiggle room in Apere, which can kind of totally change your astrological birth chart. That's wiggle room. That's not so much as a big of a deal in your destiny and your soul contract. But anyway, step 6. So during this time period between when the child is conceived and before they're born, the soul goes back and forth between the cosmos and its mother's womb in order to have the womb experience. And then when it's time to slide down the birth canal, see, it's remembering everything. It remembers its destiny, but as soon as it hits that birth canal and breaks that barrier, it goes through the waters of forgetfulness, Igbagbe. And after they forget on purpose, remember I told you about being blindfolded in human experience. God has to blindfold itself in the human experience, or else it will remember as God. It has to forget. So as soon as that baby comes here, it forgets who it is. So traditionally, in systems such as Ifa, they have the Esentaye, which is the ceremony, which is done 3 days after the child is born, to determine that child's purpose on earth and if there needs to be amendments in the destiny. Everything else is going to unfold throughout time as that child gets older and older, and their free will if they decide to use the talents that they came here to earth with. But in general, that is how your destiny is chosen. Otherwise, if you cannot remember why you are here, go back and create a life script for yourself. If you were to cast yourself in a movie, or you were to cast yourself as a character in a play, what would your character be about? What would its name be? What would it look like? What type of parents would it have? What type of parents would you have? What type of schools would you go to? What type of talents would you have based on realistic standards? Go in and do a journaling of that. And quite often what you journal will often be closely tied to why you're supposed to be here. I have the Ori journaling workbook, not just the Ori book, but the Ori journaling book, where you can do your own life scripting and script your life. If you don't know which way to go, you don't know your astrological birth chart, you can script it. But once again, it's best to look at different parts of your charts and things, such as that life path numbers called Ayamo, astrological things. Looking at all of that will help give you clues to who you are, why you're here, and why your nature is the way it is. Looking at the moon sign, all of that, because you're not just your sun sign. So looking at those different components, or having an Akashic record reading, doing a past life regression, all of that's going to help you remember why you're here and what happened in the past lifetime to choose the lifetime you're in now. Maybe you're not getting along with a parent or a sibling. Past life regression can help you understand why, or why you have this mate who keeps coming in and out of your life and disappointing you in some type of way. All of that's written in the soul contract and can be understood through other means if African spirituality and Ifa is not your thing. Now, besides that, I want to make a quick announcement. In the month of August, I am going to go back and do 1 to 2 past life regression volunteer appointments for quantum healing hypnosis technique. So if you were one of my volunteers all the way back from 2020, my calendar will now be open in August for us to do that appointment, which takes about 3 to 4 hours. So email me at guidesandgoals.com/contact if you are still interested in taking your place in Houston, Texas to do your 3 to 4 hour past life regression volunteer appointment. But besides that, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to just summarize really quickly. I was kind of stumbling over my words. The steps of the steps of how we choose our destiny. Step 1, a discussion between your soul group members and ancestral group occurs on what type of life is coming next based on what happened in the previous lifetimes. Step 2, you go to Ajala Mopin, the Akashic Library, to choose a destiny and have it approved and sanctioned by the elders, the more elevated souls. Step 3, once the destiny request is granted, you receive Akun Legba, which are your tools to make that destiny manifest easier for you. And step 4, Ayanmo. Once the soul contract, Akosile, is sealed, then Ayanmo is the part of your destiny that cannot be changed once you have agreed to the soul contract. Step 5 is a little wiggle room in your destiny where you have Ori Apere, where you receive your blessings and where you can make amendments and modifications in your destiny according to character modification. Step 6, the soul just waits to be born, going in between the spirit world and its mother's womb, and comes down and forgets, and bada bing, bada boom, here you are. Does any of this make sense to you? Does it sound crazy to you? Either or, leave a comment in the comment section and discuss what you think about your destiny, or the hunches that you've had, or the questions that you've had, and we can have a discussion about this. And I'll go back and review the comments between now and this weekend when I get some time. All right, y'all have a wonderful day, and talk to you soon. Peace and bliss, and keep learning about yourself. If you live to be 90 years old, you will continue learning more and more and more about yourself. So keep studying. Study to show thyself approved in order for your destiny to unfold more beautifully for you. Because once you know your assets and your limitations, you can work from that, realistically manifesting what is meant for you rather than focusing on what's not meant for you. All right, blessings.